Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, and you've probably heard of things like ICOs. ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering. It's a play off the term IPO, Initial Public Offering, when companies issue stock. Now this all kind of really became a thing after a cryptocurrency by the name of Ethereum got created. Now what Ethereum did is that they innovated on the whole idea of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was great in the sense that you created a decentralized way to keep track of payments between parties that could send people, so that way people can send money to anyone anywhere around the world at minimal cost at high speeds. Okay, and then Litecoin kind of improved that by making it even faster to confirm a transaction. But at the end of the day, you were just still paying each other. That's really all Bitcoin and Litecoin do. They let you pay each other. But the technology could do so much more. So what Ethereum did is create a platform in which software can be run, really simple software. And this means this is where the whole idea of smart contracts got created, where you can actually create a token that has certain parameters and says, okay, if X happens, this happens with the contract. If X happens, this happens with the contract. So you could create very sophisticated arrangements with other people and have a digital way of keeping track of it. Because right now, if you have like a contract to buy a house, you have to go to the local title office to keep track of who owns a house, or the town clerk to keep track of your marriage certificate. Imagine if that could all be done digitally, and you don't necessarily have to be calling, your hometown and the town clerk to fax over a copy of your marriage certificate, because it's all accessible in this decentralized network. That's essentially what the proposition that Ethereum brings. But it also allows people to create tokens for anything. So the idea is that these tokens that could be smart contracts could also be other currencies. So people are building currencies on top of a currency. So instead of having all these different blockchains, all these different records of transactions, you have one master record, and there's all these other tokens built on top of that record. And basically the price for transacting on this one single blockchain is the currency Ethereum. So basically, as other people build their own applications on top of Ethereum, the demand for the Ethereum token becomes greater, because it's how you pay to create a new asset on Ethereum, how you pay to transact and send assets on Ethereum. So Ethereum, as it becomes bigger, as it supports more applications, becomes more, the demand for the underlying token becomes greater. So now what happens is that companies have come up with ideas of how they can use these tokens to create sort of decentralized platforms. And to raise money for these applications, they're doing ICOs, initial coin offerings, where they're actually issuing tokens. And generally these tokens represent a currency that's going to be used in the software that they make. Things like a Lunar, which is creating sort of an online decentralized knowledge database. Think of decentralized Wikipedia. Omisego, which is creating sort of, or OMG, which is creating a super wallet thing, or Golem, which is creating sort of a decentralized internet. So you'll be able to use this sort of decentralized internet, but you'll need these Golem tokens to pay to use it. And all these tokens are built on top of the Ethereum network. Now, other people have tried to create similar type products, such as BitShares. BitShares created and not only that, but a decentralized exchange. So the exchange in which you trade BitShares is decentralized, meaning you don't have to worry about some scammer, it being run by some scammer. It just exists, and no one runs it. It just is there. And you can trade that, and you can trade all the other assets issued through BitShares on that decentralized BitShares exchange, and which is really cool. But what BitShares does, it allows you to issue assets that are collateralized by BitShares. So imagine if I wanted to create a token that's backed, that stays worth an ounce of gold, or let's say a gram of gold. So let's say a gram of gold is like $40. What I have to do is deposit $40 worth of BitShares, and long as, that's what it's worth. Now, if BitShares go up in value, and now that asset is over collateralized, it frees up that collateral. So now I'll have my collateral back, and I still have this token that I created that tracks the value of a gram of gold. So it allows you to create all these sort of derivative products, which you can theoretically create a digital version of anything on the BitShares network and you can literally trade all real assets through the BitShares network as is, which is pretty cool. And then there's the Waves platform, which is the cheapest way to issue a token. There, I mean, right now a Waves token is like $7, and you only need one Waves token to create an asset on the Waves network. And then China's version of Ethereum, which is known as Neo. So those are sort of the more well-known platforms for creating tokens and all these ICOs and whatnot. But they're not the only ones. There's dozens of these platforms out there because, again, all this code is open source, so other people can create other ones that may be cheaper, work slightly differently, but those are sort of the more household name ones. So a lot of these ICOs are built on those platforms, and you can use those. And so thus, the demand for BitShares, Waves, Ethereum, and Neo are built by the use of those platforms. As companies create initial coin offerings and their coins do well because they have good ideas on how to use these platforms, it also creates demand for the underlying token, Ethereum, Neo, Waves, BitShares. So this is the last video in the series. Hopefully this gave you a good crash course on the cryptocurrency world. My name is Alex Merced. Again, you can always get to these videos at bitcoin101.alexmerced.com. Have a great day and enjoy.